Resistance is a sign of progress, not a sign of failure. Now, just think about it like this. If you've ever tried to clean out a cluttered room, you know it usually gets messier before it gets cleaner. And that's what happens when you start upgrading your mindset. Old patterns get stirred up, and they don't want to leave quietly. Your brain has one primary job, and that's to keep you safe. Not to keep you happy, not to keep you growing, just safe. So when you start doing something unfamiliar, like setting boundaries or speaking up or trying something new, your old mindset will panic. It's like, wait a minute, we don't do that. That's risky and that's uncomfortable. That's your survival brain kicking in, not your higher self. Welcome to the Personal Mastery and Growth Podcast, where we explore the keys to unlocking your full potential and living your best life. I'm your host, Jose Johnson. Whether you're looking to make a breakthrough, overcome a challenge, or simply live with greater clarity, joy, and purpose, you'll find the tools and inspirations you need right here. So let's start your journey towards personal mastery and growth right now. Welcome back to the Personal Mastery and Growth Podcast, your go-to resource for practical tips, insightful research, and inspiring stories to help you unlock your full potential. I'm your host, Jose Johnson, and I'm an expert in the fields of mindfulness, mindset, and peak performance, and I'm so excited to have you here with me today. And in today's episode, we're exploring a part of growth that doesn't get talked about enough: what to do when your old mindset starts fighting back. You've made the decisions to grow. You've started shifting your beliefs. You've begun acting differently, and then suddenly you hit resistance. You start to backslide. You get reactive. You second guess the process. Does that sound familiar? Look, it's not failure. It's just part of the process. And today we're going to talk about why that happens and how to navigate it. So first, let's normalize something. Resistance is a sign of progress, not a sign of failure. Now, just think about it like this. If you've ever tried to clean out a cluttered room, you know it usually gets messier before it gets cleaner. And that's what happens when you start upgrading your mindset. Old patterns get stirred up, and they don't want to leave quietly. Your brain has one primary job, and that's to keep you safe. Not to keep you happy, not to keep you growing, just safe. So when you start doing something unfamiliar, like setting boundaries or speaking up or trying something new, your old mindset will panic. It's like, wait a minute, we don't do that. That's risky and that's uncomfortable. That's your survival brain kicking in, not your higher self. So let's bring in a little science here. Your brain is constantly trying to conserve energy. That's why it loves habits and routines, even the ones that don't serve you anymore. When you start changing your mindset, you're asking your brain to create new neural pathways, and that takes effort. It's like asking your mind to build a brand new road while it's still trying to drive on the old one. This often leads to something called change fatigue, mental and emotional exhaustion that hits not because you're doing the wrong thing, but because you're doing something unfamiliar. So let me share something with you that I used to tell my Tai Chi students. When you feel confused, uncoordinated, or frustrated, it's a sign that you're growing. I can't tell you how many students would start to learn a new form and they get to a point where their movements started to feel very clumsy, their mind felt overloaded, and they want to give up. And I'd say to them, that frustration that you feel, that's the moment your brain is building new neural pathways. That's the tug of war between your old way of moving and the new way that you're learning. It's not a signal to quit. It's a sign that you're close to a breakthrough. The stronger the resistance you feel, the closer you are to rewriting the code. And that applies to your mindset too. So whether you're trying to think differently, speak up more, or just stop falling into the same reactive loops, you'll hit a point where your brain says, this is too hard and this isn't working. But that's the moment to lean in. That's the moment when your nervous system is catching up with the new identity that you're creating. So next time you feel stuck or frustrated, don't run from it. Recognize it as a signal that you're on the edge of expansion. So here are a few sneaky ways resistance shows up when you're evolving. Overthinking. You start doubting every decision and get stuck in paralysis by analysis. Procrastination. Suddenly everything feels urgent, except for the things that move you forward. Imposter syndrome. The voice in your head that says, "Who are you to do this?" Emotional reactivity. You snap, you shut down, or you spiral more easily because your nervous system is being stretched. Reverting to old patterns. You find yourself saying things like, "I knew this wouldn't work," or "I'm just not cut out for this." All of these are part of your brain's attempt to protect you from discomfort. But remember, growth and comfort, they don't live in the same house. Now, let's get tactical. Here are 6 tools to help you stay grounded and keep moving forward when resistance hits. First, name the pattern. Awareness is power. When you notice resistance, say something like, "This is just my old programming trying to protect me." Labeling it removes the shame and reactivates your conscious mind. 2, take a reset breath. When the nervous system is in survival mode, the first thing to go is your clarity. Use my 90-second reset breath to ground yourself. Inhale slowly, exhale even slower. Let your body remember you're safe. 3, practice tiny wins. Don't try to power through with a big leap. Instead, ask yourself, what's one small action I can take that reinforces my new mindset? Then just do it. Momentum creates confidence. Journal the discomfort. Write about what you're feeling, but without judgment. Ask questions of yourself like, what part of me feels threatened right now? This helps you to separate the resistance from your identity. 5, celebrate internal shifts. Don't just measure success by outcomes. Start noticing things like, I stayed calm when I normally would have panicked, or I said no when I would usually say yes. Reinforce those moments as proof of your progress. And 6, have a reset ritual. When you feel like you're giving up, have a go-to reset ritual. Maybe it's a walk, a mantra, music, or breath work. Use it to reconnect to your why and to return to alignment. Hey, if you're enjoying this episode and you're ready to take your growth to the next level, check out my online course, The Mindset Makeover. It's a step-by-step system to help you identify the beliefs that are holding you back and replace them with the mindsets that you need to thrive. You'll get tools, guided exercises, and a clear path forward, whether you're stuck, starting over, or just ready to level up. Learn more and enroll now at josejohnson.com/mindset, because real change starts from the inside out. So here's your challenge for this week. Pick one area where you've felt resistance lately, whether it's in your growth, your relationships, or your self-belief. And instead of pushing through it, get curious about it. Ask, what old belief is trying to protect me here? What would my future self say in this moment? And then choose one of the 6 tools to use to interrupt the pattern. And if you haven't taken the free mindset assessment yet, now's a great time. It'll help you identify the old patterns that might be showing up under the radar so you can face them with clarity and confidence. You can take it by using the link in the show notes. Remember, growth isn't a straight line. It's a spiral. You'll circle back to the same challenges, but each time you meet them with more wisdom, more clarity, and more strength. So the next time your old mindset fights back, don't see it as a setback. See it as a sign. And the sign is saying, I'm growing. I'm rewriting the code. And this discomfort is proof that I'm evolving. So thanks for spending time with me today on the Personal Mastery and Growth Podcast. If this episode helped you hold the line during your own growth journey, make sure to share it with someone who needs to hear it. And as always, stay grounded, stay growing, and keep showing up for the life you're meant to lead. Because remember, it is what it is, but it becomes what you make it. So make it great. Thanks for tuning in. Before we wrap up, I just want to remind you that the information shared in this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not intended as a substitute for professional advice or treatment. While the content of this podcast is based on research and personal experience, everyone's situation is unique, and the advice given may not be applicable to all. Always consult a qualified professional before making significant changes in your life. The Personal Mastery and Growth Podcast is recorded at the So Good Media Studios located in the Candy Factory, a co-working space in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.